Tucson summers don't play fair. Before you spend thousands of dollars, get the facts. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We've been your local, family-owned choice for 25 years. This May, we're offering a free second opinion on any licensed HVAC contractor's quote of $1,000 or more. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Call us today at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Download our app. It slaps. Nobody covers Southern Arizona sports like we do. Don't miss out on any of the highlights, stories, and analysis. The flagship home for Arizona Wildcats athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes, paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. If you're watching on one of our many video streams, YouTube, Twitch, I'll put a link up on Twitter, and you can watch there as well. I've got my Cavs hat on. Game 4 tonight coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll dive into the NBA coming up a little bit later in the show. We'll dive into the WNBA. How about the Mercury opening with a 33-point win in the series, well, the season opener against the champion Las Vegas Aces, the team that swept them in the finals last year, and they go up to Vegas and spoil ring night with a 33-point stomping up at the T-Mobile Arena. But as we come to know in the WNBA, you got to get rid of that real quick because there seems to always be a back-to-back. And the ladies had to go right back on the road to Golden State, and they lost in their second game of the season. So the Mercury off to a 1-1 start to the year. We'll dive into that coming up a little bit later as well. 520-848-1290 is the number to come in and get in on the program. Arizona men's tennis on to the Elite Eight for the first time in school history, where they're going to take on the number 1 overall seed, that is Wake Forest, Thursday. That'll be down at the University of Georgia, Athens, Georgia. In the match of the day on Saturday, it was your number 1 player, Jay Friend. Again, coming back. Jay came back in that match. He was down 2 set points in the first set and came back to win it 8-6. He was down 6-4, won it 8-6, and then lost the second set 5-7 before coming back and sweeping through the third set 6-love to seal the match for the Arizona Wildcats. Dragon Ball, you had some thoughts on this big win for U of A.
Well, I think that the big thing about it is I'm just thrilled to see that they always talk about trying to get over that imaginary hump, that hump that you always try to get past. We've been saying it for a long time when it comes to Arizona men's basketball. How long was it going to be before we got back to the Elite Eight? I mean, how long was it going to take for them to get beyond that Sweet 16 marker that seemed to be where they had been putting a flagpole in there for so long, and they finally were able to get back to the Final Four, and a great run for them. This was their equivalent for Clancy Shields' squad. So the fact that they got through it, they get to that next stage, and that's always the step to show how far along a program has come. So I give them a lot of credit. It's going to be tough for them going against Wake Forest because, again, you got to knock off the defending national champion. And then after that, it doesn't get much easier because once you do that, then you have to take on a potential another big powerhouse team in either Virginia or Mississippi State in that semifinal before eventually you might get either Ohio State, TCU, Baylor, or Texas. There's not a single squad remaining in these Elite Eight right now for tennis side of a team that's not ranked at the top of the top of the seeding. So it's going to be tough. They're the lowest remaining seed if my math is right, other than Baylor. Baylor is number 10. My mistakes. But this is still going to be one of those kinds of runs where they're going to have to do a lot to get to that next step. But I'm glad to see that they finally got themselves beyond that initial second round. That seems to be where we were wondering how long it's going to take for them to get past that spot in the tournament.
They beat Baylor during the regular season in conference play 4-1. They also beat TCU 4-zip, but then lost to TCU 4-zip in the Big 12 tournament championships. So 24-4 is the record this season for Arizona men's tennis. Losses to TCU. We mentioned at the top the loss to Oklahoma to start the season. They also fell to San Diego, out in San Diego, when the Torettos were number 10 in the country. They lost that match 4-1. Their other loss was to LSU. LSU also made the tournament but lost out early on in the affair. So those are the 4 losses this year so far for your Arizona Wildcats heading into that matchup against Wake Forest. All right, let's hear from Jay Friend. The tournament came down to his racket, and he was able to deliver. I had a chance to catch up with Jay Friend after the match on Saturday. Jay, it came down to you, as it probably should have. Just what was it like when you knew that this whole match was on your racket?
Well, the guys kept telling me it's never going to come down to you because I play too fast, but it did, and I've been in this position before, and the last time I lost 7-6 in the third. So obviously I was fighting those demons a little bit, but the guys did their job, and that took so much pressure off me. And then 6-0 in the third set to clinch. That's crazy. I just entered a flow state that I've never been in before.
Go back to that first set, down 6-4 in the tiebreaker to get those 4 points to win it.
That feels like 3 days ago, honestly. I don't even remember it, but I'm glad I won that set.
Do you remember who that was that you lost 7-6 in the third?
UCF.
UCF. Okay, so
yeah, and
early, like midway through the season?
It was last year.
Oh, last year.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker, but yeah, been thinking about that one for a while, so it's good to change that.
When you get to that third set, I mean, did you see anything in the opponent where you started to maybe break him?
Well, he looked a step or two slower, but at the same time, I was cramping in my legs, so it's one of those things of who's going to last longer, and I did.
What does it say to the training out here in the desert that allows you to be that guy that has the little bit more at the end?
Well, thanks to Jaime and Ben and all the coaches, they put us through a tough schedule, but we spent a lot of time on these courts in the heat. They didn't. You can see once the match got long, we started taking over, and just speaks to our fitness. And yeah, we're locked in. We're not doing any stupid stuff off the court, so we're locked in.
What does it mean to be part of the first team in program history to make it this far?
It's so special, and it's even more special that we fell to a career low 29 this season. Had a lot of messages of like what's going on, a lot of doubting, including in myself, but we dug back and we practiced, we trained so hard, and we really deserve this moment.
What does it say? Like Sekachev was sick last week. He comes back, wins in straight sets. Sasha lost in straight sets last week. He comes back to win again. That you guys have that bounce back ability.
Oh, Glib is just a dog. You never want to play him because he's just in your face the entire match. And to get off the court that quick, it really helped us. And Sash, maybe a little bit of battling some demons the last few weeks, but he dug deep. I saw that it was very close. He had chances. It didn't go his way, but then he kept fighting, and so proud of him to put us in that position to win.
What went through your head during the final point to officially win the match for Arizona? What went through your head celebrating?
I was pretty chill because it was 40 love. If it was a deuce point, I would have been shaking, but that whole game was just flow state. It was probably my first ace of the match.
Do you know how many points you lost in that set? Even?
No.
No, I'm wondering.
Oh, probably like 10, 5, 10.
Okay, so it just seemed like you were taking each one.
Yeah, I just wanted it.
Because you broke to start, right?
Mm-hmm. I broke every game.
No, I mean
yeah,
the first game.
broke to start, and just like the heart. Clancy told me to just shut up because I was talking too much. Just told me to shut up, look at him when I win a point, and that worked out.
You were talking to him?
I was talking to myself because couldn't make a first serve to save my life, but at the end it didn't matter. Just dug deep. Good.
Thanks, brother.
Jay Friend, after his 3-set win on Saturday, 7-6, 8-6, 5-7, and 6 love. He have you ever been Dragamon? Have you ever been in a flow state?
I don't know if I've ever been in a flow state. I for sure probably would have loved to have been in a flow state at some point in my youth. Probably would have had a longer student athlete career if I'd been in a flow state earlier in my life. But I think that's just that old idea of like being in the zone. And there's always a great line from Mean Joe Green. He always says, people talk about living in the zone. Nah, you're in the zone maybe once in your life. You got to live in it and enjoy it for when it is, because you're not going to be in it for very long.
A flow state is defined, he used that term twice. A flow state is defined as a mental state of complete immersion and focus in an activity where time seems to disappear, self-consciousness fades, and performance feels effortless.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a
no,
flow
I've
state.
never been in a flow state. Just hearing that definition, I know I've never been.
I'm pretty sure that's where Jay Friend was in that third set, because he absolutely dominated after his opponent, the senior from Oklahoma, came back and won the second set 7-5 to force that third set. But then he just went out there, like he said, broke the first game like he had done to start the match. He broke the first game to start the second match. That's another reason why that first set I thought was so critical, because he actually jumped up. I think he was up 2-0 right away because he broke and then held. He was up 2-0, but then it got dicey there, and the Sooners were able to come back, and then he had to come from behind to win that tiebreaker. But that's Jay Friend. 111 singles wins now in school history, the most ever for this program. And you'll hear Clancy Shields coming up as well. We'll let you hear that in the next segment. But Clancy just says that he's that guy. He's that guy. This team rallies around him. He's their leader. And as good a player, I mean, we've seen some guys that have helped build this program to where it is now, Colton Smith and some of those other guys that have come before him. But Jay has helped raise this thing to a new level. And it's going to be fun, because he's maybe that guy that we'll begin to see, or we'll see moving forward, who can get into the professional ranks and really make some noise and maybe play deep into some of the major tournaments around professional tennis. And it's going to be fun to watch him take those steps to the next level after he leaves here from the University of Arizona. And a perfect way to go out, like I said, with the match on his racket at the end in front of a raucous crowd, everyone gathered around court number one as the sun, I think, was finally starting to set a bit, because literally it was after 4 o'clock. Actually, it was after 5 o'clock when we got to that point. And the match started at 1. So you're talking about 4 hours out there in that steaming desert heat. And he mentioned he was getting cramped up, but they just have, again, then, and credit to Jim Krompos. I saw Jim Krompos out there. He's their strength and conditioning guy. He's been around this athletics program forever, and it's just a credit that they've got that stamina to be able to withstand the elements and be that last team that has the extra effort at the end to close out some of these matches like they were. Because, I mean, even when they were down 3-1, you kind of felt like, we're in a position to get these last 3. It's just, can you get it done? Can you get it done? And they were able to do that to advance to the next round. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We'll hear from head coach Clancy Shields coming up next as well. DK on the sports tip, if you were out there, you want to talk Arizona tennis, 520-848-1290 is the number for you. We'll review. We had a question of the day I threw out there on Friday. We'll review that for you. We'll get your top plays coming up here as well for I think we've got hockey. I think hockey is the play for you tonight. It's either hockey or NBA. Hockey, I think it's hockey, is the top play for you tonight. Dragon Ball's here, so we'll talk a little hockey as well. Cricket is also here, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center. It's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. On Grant Road, east of Country Club to Swan, widening work does continue. Some travel changes occurred on the weekend, overnights on Grant. Grant Road between Columbus to west of Swan, travel was shifted in that strip of the construction zone. And also keep in mind at Grant and Alvernon, travels down to one lane each direction. And for your weather, 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow, 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
It's DK on the sports tip. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Doing a lot of around the house work. New tub. We had to break up the concrete, reset the pipe.
You're going to start your own show?
Not a chance. I'm not a big HGTV guy.
How much of that work are you doing yourself?
The stripping was kind of my job. I ended up taking
stripping?
I took
You're
out the
stripping?
linoleum. I stripped out the
Am
linoleum.
I not paying you enough money that you got to strip for a living? DK on the sports tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Shh, here it comes. Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction, and the drilling is only during business hours. It's so loud.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money, getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor. It's plaster from your ceiling.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Need parts fast? Need them now? O'Reilly is fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly Auto Parts stand apart. Right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts, you can get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 qualifying brake rotors. Ask the professional parts people about additional brake pad and rotor upgrade options available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring's here, and while we're all hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather in southern Arizona, we know extreme heat comes next. Torture for your tires and a test for the rest of your car, truck, or SUV. So right now's the time to get road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard or make sure your battery can make it through the summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help with decades of experience in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save even more on the tire brands you trust with big rebates up to $140 back on brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. And you'll love them even more with our low price promise. Stack up even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. So check out jackfurriers.com for all the details and even more promotions. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Dreaming about a new kitchen, an RV, or a once-in-a-lifetime vacation? Turn your wish list into reality with a home equity line of credit from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and save with our limited-time offer to waive fees up to $975. With Hughes One Rate Guarantee, all our members get our same low rate, no matter your credit score. Your home takes you further. Visit HughesFCU.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender. Certain restrictions apply.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was. And even better, Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's an entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and your possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. EssentialPest.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The New York Knicks swept the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round of the NBA playoffs. Ever since the middle of the first round, the Knicks have looked like the best team in the East. I have to give credit to Mike Brown. Brown has unlocked the offense for the Knicks. This is the best the Knicks have played in the playoffs since the 90s. A team with a real chance at the NBA Finals. And now, they're only 4 wins away. I'm Chris Black.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we're going to, a little bit later, talk a little bit about the U of A softball seeding. They are the, quote, 6th seed in the NCAA tournament, which essentially means they're the number 2 seed in the Durham Regional. They're going to be headed down to North Carolina, Tobacco Road. They'll face Marshall on Friday in the opening of the NCAA tournament. It is Duke, Marshall, Arizona, and Howard. The Bison will be there as well, so we'll have full coverage of that. Derek Palmer will be dispatched down to Tobacco Road and have all those games for you this weekend over on Freedom 1400 KTUC. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290 again is the number to get in on the program. We'll have Eric Lopez from D1 Softball is going to join us on the show, so we'll talk to him coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, it is Preakness week. And, of course, we are still coming off the dramatics of the Kentucky Derby just a little over a week ago, 10 days ago, when Golden Tempo won from the back and made Sherry DeVoe the first woman trainer to ever pilot or train a horse, not pilot because that's the jockey's job, but to train a horse that won the Kentucky Derby. We're going to chat with a couple of ladies from over at the University of Arizona's racetrack industry program. Elizabeth Rogers is the professor of practice over there at RTIP, and Tasha Spiess is one of the students. She's a junior, grew up here in Tucson, Vale High School. Both of them are going to join us here in studio. We'll talk about the racing industry, how women are starting to make their imprint on the racing industry. And, I'll ask them about this debate, obviously. Well, Golden Temple is not going to run this week at the Preakness. They have decided to, for the moment, we anticipate that Golden Temple will run at the Belmont Stakes on June the 6th, but they will not officially announce all of that until after this week's race. But the debate that's been raging about whether or not it's time to lengthen out these races in the Triple Crown to try to make sure that these stars of the industry are able to run in all of these races. So we'll dive into that more in the 4 o'clock hour as well. That was our question of the day on Friday, and I'll update you on that probably maybe at the end of this hour, because I do want you to hear from the head coach of your Arizona men's tennis team, Clancy Shields, after 5 or 4+ hours in the heat on Saturday, his team came out victorious against Oklahoma. We had a chance to catch up with Clancy for a few of his post-game comments. Here's what he had to say about the Wildcats' 4-3 victory over Oklahoma.
How do you describe that one, Clancy?
Well, I just said this is like a celebration of tennis in Tucson. I mean, you're looking at everybody sticking around, and everybody who's here has played a small part in our journey to get here. And they're sticking around because we haven't been able to get this far, and we haven't been able to do this. And we've been to the Sweet 16, but we haven't gotten any further. And I think you saw that today. We got down 3-1, and I think the guys just said, you know what, this is our year. This is destiny. It's supposed to happen this year. And you saw how the guys buckled down to make it. And then it came down to Jay's court, and I mean, is that the person you want on the court when it comes down to 3-0 moment? Absolutely. Our senior versus their senior, our captain versus their captain, and 6-0 was the final score. So kudos to Jay.
Is there a little bit of you that's maybe not surprised that he dominated that third set like he did?
Well, he's such a good player, but he, like, I hate to say it, but like he almost falls asleep. He gets a lead and he kind of like drifts away. But then when he knew it came down to his court, it's like he's going to be locked in. He's going to use his teammates. He's going to be dialed in, and he's been in that situation for so many times. I mean, this isn't new for him. I mean, not only professional, but like college. But he's been here before, and he looked cool as a cucumber. And I think everybody knew when it came down to his court and it was 3-0. We might as well start booking tickets to Athens because he's not going to lose that match.
He said that you told him to get out of his head, stop talking to himself. What did you see there that kind of maybe you thought he was in his head too much?
Well, you know, it's so easy when you're out there. You work so hard at this game, and you can be critical about, I'm missing my serve, and this isn't working, and that's not working. And dude, your opponent is good, and he's making you play an extra ball, and you got to respect the game. But it's so hard to be a top 20 player and to beat yourself at the same time. And so I thought he did a fantastic job of taking that little break, that heat break in the third, and clearing his mind. He went and just did some meditation inside and got his breathing right and came out, and you could just see it. I'm ready to go.
All right, there you go. That was Clancy Shields after the win last Saturday over Oklahoma, 520-848-1290. It's kind of funny what he says. He kind of falls asleep there a little bit. That must be being in the flow state a little bit. Maybe not completely in the idea of the flow state, a winning mentality, but just being in the flow state, so focused that you zone out while you're out there. But I know that Jay's not completely zoned out, because if there's anybody that is good at getting the crowd, I don't know that I've seen a lot of players, and I've been going to these Arizona tennis matches now for the length of the time that they've really, turned this thing around. I don't know that I've seen a lot of players that interact with the crowd like Jay Friend does. I mean, he's pumping them up. He's waving his hand out there. If he's got a good shot that's in the direction of the grandstand, he'll be over there slapping hands and fives over there. And after he won that and closed that thing out on Saturday, he made sure he went over there and interacted with the crowd and greeted some of the folks that were there against the fence for supporting the Arizona Wildcats. He definitely is aware of his element, I think, the entire time that he's out there. And I don't know that I've seen too many players that do that as well as Jay Friend has done it during his time here at the University of Arizona.
I think the thing about that, with the whole clapping hands with the crowd and everything else like that, the biggest thing to take away from it is, DK, let me ask you this. Do you enjoy the circus when it's just the acts that are in the circles, or do you like it when there are acts in the stands and they're right there next to you, getting you involved and things of that nature?
You're talking about the circus.
The circus.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that's a little afraid of the circus. But I don't mind. Yeah, if as long as the clown doesn't try to touch me or anything when he comes up into the crowd, that's one thing. But if he's in the crowd and he's kind of on the other aisle there, cool. But like, don't try to
water on people.
Yeah, don't try to come over and I don't think. I don't want the clown coming too close.
Okay, so in the situation where let's look at something else more sports related in that regard. So a Globetrotters game, if it's just a basketball game, it's not going to be that entertaining.
Right.
But because the Globetrotters get the crowd involved, you have the water bucket trick and all these other things. It's something that get the crowd involved. And in the end, the biggest thing about it is that we have always told people, if you want to support the other sports at the U of A, you've got to go ahead and buy football tickets. I think that was one of the great quotes by Mike Kendrea. He said, if you want to support U of A softball, go buy a U of A football ticket. Other sports, they rely on the fact that the fans are buying tickets to the bigger programs, such as the men's basketball team, the football team. But if there is something that these other programs can do that gets a little bit of talking points and a little bit of word of mouth being spread, like, hey, you should really go and check out what the men's tennis team is doing. They're a fun group. And there's this kid, Jay Frank, he gets everybody excited. It was it got everybody pumped up. That's something that's really going to get them a lot of leeway in the sense of they're going to get fans and they're going to get people to want to support the program. So I think a lot of it is that, because, again, tennis is one of those sports where if you're really just focused on the sport itself, it can get kind of boring. But that's why you get the personalities of the players, and that's when tennis becomes fun, is when you get people that maybe they're a little bit more of an abrasive personality, but they're a personality nonetheless, and you want to watch it for that sense.
There you go. And it's been fun to watch him for sure over the course of his time here at the University of Arizona. All right, 520-848-1290. If you were out there, you want to get in on that, we'd love to hear from you out this weekend. Arizona now on to the Elite Eight. So, again, this is how it'll work. They'll play the 4 Elite Eight matches on Thursday in Athens, Georgia. There'll be a day off in between those 4 matches, and then the 2 semifinal matches on Saturday. And then they'll come back and they'll play the national championship round on Sunday to crown a national championship in the team aspect of it. And then you get the individual side of the things. And I believe Jay is in the individual side. I'll have to check. I'm not sure if we have other players who are going to be in the individual tennis national championship round, but that'll be after we decide who the titleist is on the team side. And Wake Forest, as David mentioned earlier, the defending champions. TCU also has won a title in recent years. They're right there. And so it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, but the Wildcats have gotten a step further than they've ever been before as they continue to build this into one of the powerful programs in the West. UCLA ain't there anymore. They're not playing this weekend. USC, they're not playing this weekend. Stanford, they're not playing this weekend. Arizona. Of those teams in the Pac-12, those teams, those schools we dealt with for all those years, we couldn't beat, 50 straight losses to USC, 50-plus straight losses to UCLA. None of those teams are playing this weekend in Athens, Georgia. None of them.
Arizona beat the team that beat USC.
Exactly. Oklahoma. Knocked Southern California out of it. Arizona is the lone team from that old Pac-12 that's still going to be playing for a national tennis championship this weekend. 520-848-1290. We'll have much more coming up for you in the 4 o'clock hour. We're going to talk some Arizona softball and get this whole this new seeding thing straightened out. What does it actually mean that the Wildcats are a 6 seed headed to Durham, North Carolina, take on Duke, Marshall, Howard, whoever, to try to get to the Sweet 16 of the Super Regionals, as we like to call it. Dragon Ball's got everything happening in sports here in Southern Arizona, as well as sports around this whole entire world.
And focusing on that, again, despite the early exit in the Big 12 tournament, the Arizona softball team waited to have their names called on Selection Sunday, and they were not disappointed.
And a Big 12 at-large, the 8-time national champion Arizona Wildcats with their 20-game winner, Jalen Adams, and the Big 12 Player of the Year, Sydney Stewart. Lovely day in Durham, hoping for a big weekend there as well, with Arizona, Marshall, and Howard in town.
And again, the Wildcats will head to their first stop on the road to Oklahoma City out in Durham, North Carolina, as a part of the pod you just heard between themselves, Marshall, Howard, and host Duke. Now, the postseason journey for the Cats will be starting up on Friday at 11 a.m. Arizona time as they look for their 26th appearance in the College World Series. And some bad news for the Diamondbacks on the injury front. They will have to wait just a little longer for first baseman Carlos Santana as he is re-injured his abductor, and this is happening in his rehab assignment down in AAA this past Sunday. Now, the 39-year-old has missed about a month of action before this incident, which was his 7th rehab game for Reno. Now, starting 8 of the Diamondbacks' first 10 games of the year, they've now had to lean on Ildarmo Vargas at first, as well as rookie Jose Fernandez to go ahead and spell Santana for that injury.
I love Carlos Santana, but don't we think, he's not the future? Do we really need to rush him back?
Well, he's not the future, and rookie Jose Fernandez certainly seems to be.
Eldamaro Vargas, man. He's not a traditional first baseman, but he's on my fantasy team, and he's drove in the winning runs the other night. Keep him out there.
So you don't want to have to reshuffle your fantasy roster is what you're saying.
Something like that.
So also we have that the Spurs weren't lucky with their result yesterday against the Timberwolves, but San Antonio certainly got lucky this morning as they will be able to play Victor Wembanyama for Game 5 after his flagrant 2 ejection in Game 4 following his elbow to Naz Reid. Now the NBA says Wembanyama will not face further discipline for the act, so he will be able to start. He won't be suspended as the series now goes back to San Antonio, tied at 2 games apiece. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do, with press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play.
Bounce pass, a walk, and slam it home.
We bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Eastbound I-10 Marana off-ramp with a collision reported and some slowing. Roadwork on Park Avenue north of 22nd Street to 36th Street, and the northbound lanes. Northbound Park Avenue is closed. 36th Street to 22nd Street, you could use 4th Avenue instead. 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow, and 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You think a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt is the worst that could happen until you get in a crash. Suddenly, a ticket doesn't seem so bad. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
You know that feeling when something's off? I got it every time I saw my life insurance bill. Turns out I was overpaying by $50 a month.
That feeling is real. $50 a month adds up to $20,000 over 30 years.
$20,000? That's a kitchen reno.
With a wine fridge.
So I stopped ignoring my gut and called SelectQuote. In minutes, a licensed agent compared over 100 policies and found one that cost less with better protection. With no medical exam, I was covered before I hung up.
That's the SelectQuote way. Curious or ready to switch? They'll do the shopping and your quote is free.
Trust your gut on this one.
For over 40 years, SelectQuote has helped millions find the right coverage. Visit SelectQuote.com or call 1-800-760-1010. Make the call, 1-800-760-1010. That's 1-800-760-1010. Or visit SelectQuote.com. Details on example rates and exam requirements at SelectQuote.com.
Softball and baseball season has arrived in Tucson, and tickets are on sale now. From the greatest setting in softball at Hillenbrand Stadium to the dingers into the Tucson Sunset at High Corbett, you won't want to miss any of the action this season. Tell a friend, bring the kids, and spend your evenings at the yard, as the Wildcats are sure to put on a show. Get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/tickets. Bear down.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slam it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
If your windows can't keep up with the heat, it's time for an upgrade. At the Window Depot, windows are what we do. Biggest inventory, best prices, guaranteed. Found a lower price? We'll beat it. Shop in stock or custom vinyl windows, built for efficiency and style. From one window to full home replacement, we help you get the right windows for less. Lower your energy bills and stay comfortable year-round. Visit a location near you or order online at thewindowdepot.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson summers don't play fair. Before you spend thousands of dollars, get the facts. Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We've been your local, family-owned choice for 25 years. This May, we're offering a free second opinion on any licensed HVAC contractor's quote of $1,000 or more. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Call us today at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward with growth opportunities, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces. Go to careers.progressive.com and apply today.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 2 of our show on this Monday. So glad you could be with us. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. It was a really good weekend. Well, really good, but it was good. It was a good weekend for your Arizona Diamondbacks, who debuted their rookie top prospect this weekend, Ryan Waldschmidt, and he paid immediate dividends.
Waldy, go! It's on its way. Ryan Waldschmidt all the way to the wall. He's got his first big league RBIs. It's a 2-run double. That one's for Mom on Mother's Day.
That's right, and that wasn't the only thing. Not only was he producing on the offensive side, he also was throwing his gloves at the New York Mets.
Yeah, New York this season 1-8 versus left-hand starting pitchers. And Viento's trying to change that. It backs up Waldschmidt all the way to the wall. And he's got it. Waldy into the wall.
I mean, slamming into the wall there. Ryan Waldschmidt. This was all yesterday in a 5-1 win for the Diamondbacks over the Mets. D-backs won the final 2 games of that series, 2-1 and 5-1. Tremendous pitching from Merrill Kelly on Saturday night and Eduardo Rodriguez yesterday. And Ryan Waldschmidt talking after the game about his catch at the wall.
I was ready in left field. I knew Erod was working the inner half of the plate on the righties pretty well today, so I saw the pitch and I saw it come off the bat, and obviously we're in the 5th inning. He was still throwing a perfect game at this point, almost, or maybe just a no-hitter, but I took off for it. I knew I was getting close to the fence, but I was going to do whatever I could to catch that ball, so I was going full speed in the wall, catch or not, but I'm glad I ended up making that catch for him and keeping that thing going.
Always need, because again, Eduardo Rodriguez was rolling there. Had not allowed a hit early on, early 2-zip lead for the D-backs. They have not been playing from in front in a lot of these games. So good to see the rookie playing with a lot of energy, much to which his veteran pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez, was very appreciative.
I mean, that was great, you know. He just got here and he started doing his thing, you know, and I love it. I love it. After I threw the curveball, I thought the ball was hitting out, and then literally when I get to the dugout, I said, bro, that was a sick play. And he just told me, like, I was going against the wall. Like, I don't care, you know. And he just literally did, you know. So I love it. I love it the way that he played. And he started showing up, and that's perfect. I love it.
23 years old, out of Sarasota, Florida, played at the University of Kentucky. He was the Diamondbacks' first-round pick 2 years ago, 2024. So it took him less than 2 years to get to the big leagues out of college. And Torey Lovullo likes what he saw in terms of the defense from his young outfielder.
These kids know when they come up here, their defense is just as important as their offense. And, credit to player development, and specifically Jeff Gardner and the boys down there in Reno that keep telling them, you're not going to get called up to the big leagues if you can't play good defense. We've talked about that for a long time here, and it's system-wide now. So I wonder what would have happened. If he didn't make that play, it would have been a leadoff double, and it was a tight game. Who knows what would have happened. But when you play good defense, you give your starter a push, and I think that really gave him, Erod, a nice push to go into the game the way he did, or finish the game the way he did.
3 for 8 in his first 3 games, so hitting .375. Did strike out 4 times on the weekend, but we talked about it a little bit on Friday, Dragon Ball. Surprised that the Diamondbacks, and they weren't the only team this weekend. I mean, really both the teams I followed made shocking moves to try to bolster offenses that have been a little bit slumbering through the first 2 months or month plus of this season. The Diamondbacks cutting essentially Alek Thomas, designating him for an assignment, a guy that, again, you look back 2 years ago, who hit a big home run that helped get this team to the World Series, and who you thought was going to maybe be a mainstay in this lineup for years to come, and just really could not find it offensively much last year and or this year to start the season. And so a move maybe you wouldn't have thought would come right away, but teams are not waiting a lot of the times on some of these moves to get these young prospects to the big leagues. We've talked about the logjam that San Francisco had at the catching position with our guy Daniel Susac and Patrick Bailey. And Patrick Bailey, although one of the best defensive catchers you're going to find, they decided that maybe it was time to promote Daniel Susac and give him the reins. So the Giants traded. I mean, that's a team that's been struggling. They're in last place right now in the National League West, and that's a team that's been struggling. So they traded Patrick Bailey to my Indians, to my Guardians, and the Guardians sent down Bo Naylor, a catcher who'd been in the big leagues pretty much for the last 2 years. So some shocking, but maybe not so shocking moves by big league teams this weekend to get offenses going, to try to get their offenses going.
Well, the old adage is that the NFL stands for not for long, and I've never been able to get this one to stick as well with my friends that also were big baseball fans, but I've always felt that MLB also stands for maybe left behind, because there are some guys that you just don't bring with you going into certain months of the year. And look, Bo Naylor, yeah, great player. Alek Thomas absolutely has a moment in Diamondbacks history that's going to be remembered for a long time for fans that really were hoping that would be the year where they got their second World Series championship. But you have to make these kinds of moves, particularly in the fact that we have seen, DK, I think in the last 5 or 6 years, a over-dependency, I feel, on late 30s and 40s baseball players in certain franchises, where certain guys are just sticking around for way too long. And I think that a lot of that can be viewed as like, oh, well, the future is now, old man. But in truth, it's just that baseball has to be a bit more of a young man's sport. And look at the likes of Bryce Harper. It's a guy that when he first came up was considered by many to be one of the greatest young talents in baseball's history. Now the man barely has enough ability to play first base defensively, let alone just swing the bat as a designated hitter. They're looking for ways to keep him on. Kyle Schwarber is not a guy that should be, I believe, maintaining a major position in a roster somewhere, just because I think he's too old. You can't keep a guy like that. And for a long time, you were able to do that for certain players. I mean, no one's going to ever mistake David Ortiz as being a great defensive first baseman. No one's going to ask David Ortiz to play defense. But when you get to a point where a guy just can't swing the bat, can't field, can't play defense, when do you have to make the decision to bring in a 19 or 24-year-old guy that's been putting in the work for 2 years in the minors? You got to make those choices. And I just feel that a youth movement in baseball is not a bad thing.
Right.
It's when you do it too early that it can be a very serious problem. And I feel that now they're starting to figure out, okay, when do we know that a guy is ready? And certain franchises, they're getting it right. Other franchises, if say you're the Baltimore Orioles, you continue to seemingly whiff on those decisions. But overall, I'm not that shocked to see this many play, because let's not forget, even for teams that are already considerably young, they're still calling in young guys from their minor league squads, like, say, the Pirates.
Yeah.
The Connor Griffin being called up, a lot of people expected him to not make the roster after they didn't bring him up from spring training. And now all of a sudden he's pretty much an every other day starter for him. And it just goes to show youth is an invaluable trait in Major League Baseball if you want to be competitive. And right now, if you've got either youth or you have money. So which do you have? If you're the Dodgers, you have money. If you're the Diamondbacks, you need to rely on your youth if you want to be competitive.
There you go. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. What is next for Alek Thomas? We don't know as of yet. The Diamondbacks were exploring a trade. I don't know that Alek Thomas is a guy that's going to want to go to the minor leagues, go down to AAA and play there. I think there's somebody probably out there that would like to have him. But we'll see. We'll kind of see. I think there's reports that he might be headed for waivers, which means that he would be a free agent and able to sign anywhere. The lineup for tonight is already in because it's a 5:05 first pitch to start the 6-game road trip tonight in Texas against the Rangers. And Waldschmidt is in the lineup once again. He will bat ninth tonight. Is that ninth? I always forget the pitchers don't hit anymore, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. He will bat ninth tonight in the lineup for your Arizona Diamondbacks as they open up that series. They'll go to Texas, and then they'll go to Denver to take on the Colorado Rockies. So there we go. We'll get you a top play, a DK top play on that game coming up for you a little bit later. All right. Cricket is the third member of our team, and she joins us today, and she is going through her basket there. A tisket.
A tasket. I'm
Cricket's got a basket.
putting new quotes in there.
Her, right. Oh, you're putting. Whoa! You're adding to the basket.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, let me get the camera over there so people can see your block A bucket there. Your block A basket.
We have to get the logo.
And you got a new name now. Your name is
Elizabeth. Oh, I love that name. I like that.
How about cricket with a small K?
How about just kick it?
Kick it. Kicking it with ooh.
Yep, kick it with cricket.
Don't
Don't
get
tempt
me
me.
start going on new segments here.
Don't tempt me.
Kicking it with cricket.
Oh, boy.
You know, I'm always looking for a new segment. We'll keep you as busy as possible, Cricket. Don't get me going.
That's fine.
You'll be in here you'll be in here twice an hour.
Why is it so bright in here today? Isn't it?
It may have been the little lever on the door.
Did I do that?
I don't think so. It's
We were
been like
taking
that
pictures in here the other day.
Yeah.
So sometimes we have to turn the lights up to take pictures because it gets a little dark.
I'm surprised you haven't adjusted. Normally it's kind of dark in here.
It is.
Like,
because it's like the lights on me are really bright, so I usually turn them down. But I have a hat on today, so it's not as bad. I'm not as bright. I'm kind of going after you, I'm wearing a ball cap.
Where's your hat?
ball cap?
Mine's in the car.
Yeah, where's your ball?
Mine's in the car.
I don't even have the right shot here because we can't even see Dragon Ball. I can't. These shots. I just. I can't. I just don't have the right ones. I don't know where they all are.
You're a mess.
I am.
You are a hot mess.
A hot mess.
There you are.
No, that's an empty seat over there.
Oh, well, that too. So you're.
I don't know where it is. Oh, wait. Is that it? No,
I don't think so. I don't think that's it.
I can't find it.
This is such a Monday thing,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Monday.
This is a big Monday.
Just as long as all right. As long as I can see Cricket and me. Well, there's you. All right, that's not it. We don't want that one either. Let's just go to Cricket's one shot. Right
there we go.
That's not it. Right there. There we go.
You're never gonna get
it. I'll get it right here. We got all kinds of different names here.
All right.
So Cricket.
Mm-hmm.
You've got quotes.
I do.
Quotes.
Yes.
All right. What's our great saying of today?
He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has.
Ooh.
I'm sure he knows who this is.
Dragon Ball.
Okay, this is a philosopher's
Oh, wait.
quote.
I'll say it again. So give him a minute.
Okay. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has.
What's the is that the great
Epictetus?
Japanese?
Epictetus?
And I was going to ask you how to pronounce it. Is it Epictetus?
I've always seen it spelled EPIC, So
T-E-T-U-S.
I've always said it's Epictetus.
Epictetus. Okay, yeah, like I'm kind of with you. I was like,
there's
is it
English
Epictetus?
teachers all over town crashing their cars
they're
right
so
now.
upset at
Like,
us.
who are these people?
We don't know quite how to pronounce it, but he was a great philosopher who said he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has.
Epictetus.
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 Sorry, all literature, philosophy. I'm sorry.
All right.
But the thought was
English
there.
teachers, please don't call the show right now at 520-840-1290.
Or maybe you could call us because we're going to be dying to know.
Professors, don't call the show
Sorry.
right now at 520-840-1290.
Should I get rid of all of his
Some
any other
academic
quotes?
over at U of A is like, oh my gosh, these people don't know their English language. They don't know their profs and all of that.
But see, everyone's going to remember that we don't know how to say whoever the great philosopher that said this. Epictetus. Yeah.
Okay.
All you need to know, he was Greek.
He was
Exactly.
He was Greek.
Epictetus.
All right.
Got
there we
it.
go. See? We get great sayings by people we have no idea how to pronounce their names.
But we're trying.
That's what's great about all the philosophers. They all have these crazy names that you can't pronounce.
Aristotle's next.
Aristotle's next.
Maybe. I don't know. It's in there
Traffic is
somewhere.
next.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. On the east side, Collision Camino Seco north of Broadway. Also wreck reported at the Marana off-ramp. Both directions of travel off of I-10 at Marana for some slowing there. And expect slowing with roadwork, Alvernon and Grant. 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow, 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging and replacement, batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
It's DK on the sports tip. Did you hear what we were talking about? The kids who actually have the money to go out there and play tennis. Why haven't we produced any of them? DK on the sports tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Hi, I'm Jordan Benjamin with Done Right Services. When your home or business needs HVAC, plumbing services, or electrical work, choose a genuine local Tucson company, Done Right Services. With decades of trusted experience and upfront pricing, Done Right Services treats every customer like a valued neighbor. From upgrades to urgent repairs, our licensed professionals deliver quality, care, and craftsmanship you can count on, getting it done right. Call Done Right Services today at 520-369-3966 because you deserve it done right.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. $4, $6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Wow, this is bad.
Oh no, how bad? When will my AC be fixed?
You know, I don't know. It's your flux capacitor. They don't make them anymore. Special order. Couple grand easy.
Oh my God, what?
Don't get air-conned into paying for shoddy service and stuff you don't need. Put Goodfellas on the job. Goodfellas AC will repair or install your AC the right way the first time. You'll know up front exactly what it'll cost and how long it'll take. No surprises and free second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
Life happens. Lucky for you, the new ICCU Central Plus checking account comes with benefits, including cell phone protection.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
That's right. Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, it was an early exit from the Big 12 tournament for your Arizona Wildcats, losing to the rival Sun Devils, who actually went on and won the event, knocking off Oklahoma State, the 2 seed, and then taking out the top seed, Nyjah Kennedy and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. So I guess congratulations to those Sun Devils for getting the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament for the Big 12. They were likely going to be in anyway. The Wildcats are in. Under the new seeding system, they are a 6th seed. What does that mean? I have no idea. Let's find out. We're going to chat with Eric Lopez, joins us now. He is from D1 Softball. He's the host of In the Circle. He is listed as their bracketologist. He is also the TV ESPN play-by-play voice for UCF, the Knights, who are in our conference. Eric, appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us on the show. Okay, new seeding system. Used to be just the 16 national seeds. Now we're seeding the top 32 seeds, which the Wildcats fell into that bucket. What is this all about, and why did they make this change?
Well, I would start with the 32 seed. Certainly that's a positive step. Volleyball, women's soccer was ahead of the curve on this, and certainly baseball and softball to follow. So I think it's been something that the coaches in the sport have been pushing for. So I think that's a good thing. Now, as far as the new look of the form of the bracket, that went down over the weekend from what my sources told me, that basically the NCAA decided they want every bracket to look the same in every sport. And so they using this quadrant system that volleyball and women's soccer has been using, and they're going to apply this to softball, and they're going to apply this to baseball. I don't like it. I disagree with it. Basically, you have seeds from 1 through 8 in 4 different quadrants. I just think it's too confusing for the casual fan. I think some of this is the committee's a little concerned about having it out there in the public on who was seeded 17 to 32. In fact, they're not going to make that public. Now, I tweeted it on Eric Lopez Elo, based on the protocols and guidelines that they use, what I think the 17 to 32 look like. But I just don't understand this move to do this because I don't think it works with baseball or softball like it does with soccer, which has a College Cup Final Four, or volleyball, which has the semifinals and the Final Four is the goal.
Right.
That's not the case here in softball or baseball, where it's the Final 8. The destination, Oklahoma City for softball and Omaha for baseball. So it's an NCAA, once again, messing up with brackets. We all know her all too well, David. You know that.
Absolutely, absolutely. It just continues in all the sports now, from 76 to for basketball. Now they're talking about 24 teams for football and, whatever not. It's crazy. Okay, so the Wildcat, and the other thing, I guess, is that the Wildcats are headed to Durham, North Carolina. I'd seen several brackets that thought maybe that because of the desire that they've always had recently to keep things, or at least try to keep teams regional, that the Wildcats might be headed to, say, maybe UCLA or potentially Oregon, one of the two national seeds that's over here on the west side. Why don't you think that happened?
Well, because I'm going to give the committee credit. I think they truly tried to seed the tournament through 32 teams. And I think in my calculations here, they basically seeded Arizona 21st, which I think that's fair. I think
that's about where they
going
were
into the Big 12. Yeah, I think going into the Big 12 tournament, I had them at 20. And then once Arizona State made the run, beat Arizona in a game that I was at, I covered the Big 12 tournament this past week. That was exciting to witness Arizona State for the first time in person. My good friend Kenzie Fowler, I'm sure you know very well, is a great Arizona Wildcat, who told me expect the unexpected, and that's kind of what I saw in that game with those two teams going at it. But I think Arizona State making the run and winning Big 12 championship bumped them over Arizona and into the top 20 seed. And as a result, I think Arizona State that's why they're playing at Texas A&M, whereas Arizona only dropped, I think, a seed line. And I actually think they got a pretty favorable regional, all things considered, with Duke. I think had they been less than 400 miles from Los Angeles, then yes, I think they would be going to UCLA, but they're too far away from that, and that would have had to drop them to the 23-24 seed to make that work if you can't bust there. So I think 21 sees what they got, and they get to go to Durham, which is what I had in my bracketology on Sunday on D1 softball. So I actually hit that one right. So
nice.
I think that's a fair seeding for Arizona. It may be even too fair, considering how they finished the season. But I think that's a fair seeding, and I think they got a pretty good draw.
See, I got to start following you if you're getting these things right, because the ones I had that were did not have any of the ones correct.
That's correct. I had Arizona. I had all 64 teams right, all 16 hosts correct.
Nice.
So I did have Arizona going to Duke once they lost in the Big 12 tournament there, and it kind of played out that way. And the reason I think it's a fair regional, David, Arizona and Duke are very similar. I think both teams in person, both have great offenses with lots of talent. Both have question marks pitching-wise that they rely on one pitcher. Certainly for Duke, it's Cassidy Curd, who helped them get to the World Series a couple of years ago for the Blue Devils. For Arizona, as you know, it's Adams, basically. So I think it's a very evenly matched regional. Marshall has been there. They got a good lineup with their head coach, Morgan Zirkle. They can swing the bats, but they're not very deep pitching-wise either. So I expect this to be a very high-scoring regional in Durham.
Eric Lopez is our guest, D1 Softball in the Circle. He hosts that podcast. It is the NCAA softball tournament. Wildcats will be on the road in Durham, taking on the Blue Devils eventually. Obviously, Marshall first on Friday, with a possible second meeting on Saturday against Duke. I've said before, I think if there's teams that are built to go on the road and win regionals, and we've seen Arizona do that before. They've gone to Missouri and they've won a regional round there. They've gone to places like Mississippi State and whatnot, and they've been able to win regionals down there because they played. But this was back when they played in the Pac-12, and so the competition level maybe was a little bit higher. What is your overall, because you're in it, what is your overall belief on the strength of this Big 12 now that Oklahoma and Texas have moved on?
I think it's rebounded very well. It's a 7-bid league this year for the Big 12. It's the most that they've had since 2011. So that says a lot. That you're a long time, 15 years. It's the number 2 rated conference in college softball behind the SEC. And I think it's strong. I think I think Arizona has helped the league in that regard, and fit. And I think it's been a strong league, and I think it's a benefit to the Wildcats. I think there's not a big drop off to what the Pac-12. Certainly the traveling's different. Obviously, some of the places that Arizona has to go to is different, like going to Stillwater, for example, like they did this year. They've had to go to Kansas. They've had to go to Houston. But I think it's still a strong league, a league that maybe doesn't get the respect as maybe on the national landscape because there's so much attention on the South. But I think it's a strong league, and I think this year they proved it with 7 bids. to the tournament, and high seeds too. Like you got Texas Tech, who's certainly in the mix for the top 8 seed. I think they would have probably gotten it had they won the Big 12 tournament, but they are still an 11 seed. You've got Arizona State, who's in the top 20 seed. I think Arizona 21, UCF, I think has gotten the 22-23 seed. They're going to Florida State. And then Kansas gets a top 32 seed as they go to Norman, as they make the NCAAs for the first time. And then Baylor, with their young club, is a team on the rise with Glenn Moore. They make the tournament as well. Oklahoma State, I forget to mention, they get to host with Ruby Malin and Kenny Gajewski. And again, Arizona, I really think of Arizona, David, if you look back, the Oklahoma State series and the LSU series, if you swing that series, both of those series, to Arizona's favor, I think Arizona's hosting today.
Wow. There you go. Eric Lopez is our guest. D1 softball. Eric, you mentioned Gary Gajewski and Ruby Malin. What did you make of his comments at the Big 12 tournament last week?
I was there when Kenny said that. He meant every word. It was wild. He told the story, basically, for those that don't know. Ruby Malin, they sent out a press release, the conference did, that Ruby Malin was the pitcher of the year when they announced the conference awards to all the schools, and then they did a revised version that had co-pitchers of the year, and that certainly upset Kenny the wrong way, and he didn't like the Big 12 explanation for it. I don't know what happened. I've heard different variations of stories there, but not having to verify any of it, I won't get into it, but certainly I'm sure there were some people in Lubbock that maybe reached out and spoke with displeasure about NYSHA not getting the award, and maybe the Big 12 applied to that. I don't know that if that's true or not, but that has been a rumor out there. But, it is what it is. It's just part of the process. It's unfortunate that happened, and Kenny certainly made everybody aware of it. The Big 12 has not commented on it. It was interesting. It was just very interesting to witness that in person. That certainly went viral.
Hey, Eric Lopez is our guest. He's with D1 Softball. He hosts the In the Circle podcast. He is the How long have you been doing bracketology for softball, Eric?
A decade now.
Wow.
It's been going over a decade. I've been following softball for 20 years, calling games for 20 seasons, and certainly joined D1 Softball 3 years ago. And bracketology for a decade, which gets always more interesting every year.
So do you have a science? Do you have a formula? How do you do it?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. Obviously, they have the metrics they use in the RPI, and then this year the DSR was which introduced to the committee, so I studied that. I've been fortunate that I've spoken to people that have been in the committee over the years that tell me how it works in the room. We were very fortunate here at In the Circle on D1 Softball. We're the only place that has exclusive interviews with the committee chairperson every year since 2021. So they kind of help us also give us a heads up of what may or may not come. So those are part of the things I use. And based on that information, I try to kind of go with what I think they will do based on what I've learned and been told over the years. And that's been a big help in the process, but never perfect. I mean, I had, for example, Florida State as an 8, UCLA as a 9. I sort of disagreed with them on that, but I wasn't surprised they went with UCLA as an 8 seed there as well. So at the same, that's kind of the process. And this year, certainly they've helped learning the 32 seeds and how they're going to apply. We had Natalie Honan on the podcast, and she told us verbatim how the process was going to work and what they were looking for. And so I trusted her that she wasn't lying to me, and she wasn't. And so that's kind of some of the examples that I've used, and very fortunate. It's the third time I've had a perfect bracket. So teams correct in seeding. So in the last 5 years, so it seems to be working, and so that's good because they'll keep me employed. So, but it's unique from that standpoint because every year there's always different things that pop up.
Do you have a surprise team you think could get through to Oklahoma City?
Ooh, so I'm not just saying this because I'm on this show. I think if Arizona, you mentioned this earlier, they know how to win on the road in the postseason. One that you didn't mention is they won in Fayetteville a couple times there. And the reason I bring that up is that is the regional that is paired up with the Durham regional. So let's say Arizona gets past Duke, there's a good chance that they will see Arkansas in a super regional like they did in Mike Kendrea's last year when they went in there and won the super regional to get back to the World Series in Oklahoma City. There was another year, I think Caitlin Lowe won a regional there and eliminated Arkansas. So they have success in Arkansas if they can get past this regional with Duke. And again, Duke doesn't have the depth pitching-wise, so this could come down to how does Jalen Adams look and Riley Holder pitch in Durham against Duke and Marshall come down there. But I think Arizona actually, David, has a path to get to Oklahoma City as far as teams outside the top 8. Obviously, the other answer is Texas Tech. They've done this already last year as a 12 seed when they knocked off Florida State in the Super Regionals. They'll have a similar path where they host a regional and then perhaps potentially have to go to Gainesville to play Florida. But if you're looking for teams outside the top 8 that can get to Oklahoma City, I think Texas Tech and Arizona. If Arizona, which Arizona team are we getting? And you know, I spoke to Caitlin Lowe about that after they were eliminated by Arizona State, and I think she felt they were close. She liked the way they swung the bat against Kenzie Brennan. Just was not. It was right at people, but I think she was pleased on how Adams pitched. And you know, now they've had some time to recharge the batteries, and I think that's a dangerous team. If you're looking for a team outside the top 16 to make it to Oklahoma City, that's probably the first pick that I would make is Arizona, and it's in Texas Tech. I think those are the two that jumps out to me. Texas Tech outside the top 8, Arizona outside the top 16, I think are two teams that I think can get to Oklahoma City.
There you go. He's Eric Lopez. D1 Softball is D1Softball.com. You can find him at Eric Lopez, ELO, on the Twitter. Eric, we're going to have you on again.
Hey, anytime you need me, I'm here for you, buddy. I'm always here. I'm always a fan. I always enjoy the great state of Arizona. A lot of friends there, like Kinsey Fowler, the great Fowler, and all the great folks there. So anytime you need me, I'm here for you.
Awesome. We love Kinsey Fowler for sure. Eric Lopez, D1 Softball. We're going to talk some Arizona men's tennis. Coming up next, we are going to be joined by Gleb Sekachoff. He is going to join us. Got that straight set victory to beat Oklahoma on Saturday and get the Wildcats to the Elite 8. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collision occurred right near the Marana off-ramp of I-10 and some slowdowns for both eastbound and westbound I-10 exiting at Marana. On the east side collision, Camino Seco north of Broadway. 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow and 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
In Tucson, a lot of people make their living on construction sites, on the road, or working in warehouses across town. If you're injured at work, you have rights. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz and Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
The Cup is coming home.
Firing, caught, touchdown Arizona. Braden Stooks picks it off, takes it right away.
Congrats to Brett Brennan, Noah Fafita, and your Arizona Wildcats on their 9-win season and dominant victory in Tempe over that school up north.
The Cats win the Cup. They win their 9th game of the season, and they do it emphatically tonight up here in Tempe.
Bear down. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Join David Kelly this Wednesday from 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards for Wild Card Wednesdays. Showtime Cards will have live box breaks happening right in the store. You never know what pulls might pop up. Whether you're into baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon, Star Wars, or anything in between, Showtime Cards has something for every collector. Catch all the action this Wednesday, 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards, located on Speedway just east of Craycroft, with Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Drats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarintucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Bar, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarintucson.com.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira Joyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog Walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees and minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bankguide for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Spring's here, and while we're all hoping for a few more weeks of mild weather in southern Arizona, we know extreme heat comes next. Torture for your tires and a test for the rest of your car, truck, or SUV. So right now's the time to get road trip ready. And with 14 convenient locations, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the place. Not sure about your car's air conditioner? Need to check out that light on your dashboard or make sure your battery can make it through the summer? Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is here to help with decades of experience in Arizona and dozens of top shop awards for tires and automotive maintenance. And right now, save even more on the tire brands you trust with big rebates up to $140 back on brands like Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. And you'll love them even more with our low price promise. Stack up even more savings when you pay with your Jack Furrier card. So check out jackfurriers.com for all the details and even more promotions. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Victor Wembanyama was ejected after learning what a flagrant 2 means for elbowing Naz Reid in the chin. The Spurs actually led the Timberwolves with about 3 minutes left in the fourth. Anthony Edwards scored 16 of his 36 points en route to Minnesota's Game 4 win to even up the series at 2 games apiece. Despite that, it was Rudy Gobert, Ayo Dosunmu, and Naz Reid who were instrumental in the Timberwolves stealing the Game 4 win. Game 5 is Tuesday night in San Antonio. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Arizona men's tennis in the Elite Eight, and they are already in Athens, Georgia, where they will play on Thursday. I believe the Cats flew out today. Let's go down to Athens, Georgia, and talk to one of the guys that got it done on Saturday in the win over the Oklahoma Sooners. Sophomore Gleb Sekachov from the Ukraine joins us now. Gleb, hey, I appreciate you taking some time to join us on the show today. So, did you guys travel down there today? Was that the deal?
Yeah, we came here today.
Have you ever been to Georgia before?
No, it's my first time here in Georgia.
There you go. Glib, let's go back to Saturday because you've had an interesting 2 weeks. You obviously ran into a little bit of an illness and could not play in the first round of this, the first 2 rounds of this event last weekend, and came back, though, and got a straight set victory this past Saturday against Oklahoma. Let's go back to the week before. When did you, what was the problem, and when did you not start feeling well?
So I woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning on Friday night, 4 a.m., feeling really bad, full wet. And then I texted our doctor of the team, our physio, in the morning saying that I'm not feeling right. And I came to his office. We chat, and he told me that I should take a day off today because I was feeling really bad. And I also talked with the coaches, and we made a decision that I will take day off to get healthy as possible for tomorrow to be ready to play against Clemson. Yeah, and then the boys did the job done without me. And then the next day on Saturday I was feeling a little bit better, and I was able to play doubles, and we won the doubles point. And then the coach told me that he wants to play a healthy guy. So he played also a sophomore from Canada, Matthias Uvekask. And yeah, that's it.
So when you got, obviously you mentioned you were there, you were able to play the doubles, and so you're feeling good. And when he told you that news, how did you process that? I would imagine there was some disappointment that you weren't going to be able to go out there for singles.
No, there wasn't any disappointments because I really respect our head coach, and I was agree with his decision because I was feeling better, but I wasn't feeling for 100%. And if it could come on my court 3-all, 3 sets, and maybe I wasn't be able to handle the long match, being sick. So I was totally agree with his decision to play other guy. So there wasn't any disappointments.
Gleb Sekachov is our guest. He's a sophomore from Odessa, Ukraine. He plays mostly number 6 singles for your Arizona Wildcats. And then, Gleb, how was the preparation coming back off of that? Maybe having an extra day or two as you start to prepare for Oklahoma. How did you feel going into that match on Saturday, knowing that the temperatures were going to be hotter than they'd been for most of the spring?
So on Saturday I played only doubles, and I can say I had a full day off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and on Monday I was fresh and I was ready to get a good week of practices before the Oklahoma, and I think we did a great job as a team preparing for Oklahoma. It was personal for us because we lost them in the beginning of the season, our first match, and it was really painful, So it was really personal for us, and I think we did a great job on Saturday, and we made a history first time making Elite 8 as a program. So yeah, that's really cool.
You won pretty handily, 6-2, 6-2. You got the first point of the day for Arizona up on the board. Break down for me what went well for you in that match against Alejandro Malero that you were able to take care of that pretty quickly.
Yeah, we lost a doubles point, and I felt I was on a mission to help the team as much as possible, and I was just really locked in on my game and what I have to do. I had a conversation with the coaches about his gaming style and all this stuff, so I was really preparing the whole week for this guy, and I knew what I have to do and how I have to play against him to have a success. And I think I did a great job doing that. And I brought the first point on the board for my team. So.
And then you guys are down 3-1, but you slowly start chopping away at that. Sasha gets his win over on court 3. Alejandro gets his win on the other side, and now you guys are over there, and Jay's dominating in his third set. What was it like to watch that final point, watching your guy, Jay Friend, close it out?
You know, Jay is our captain, and that's why he's our captain and he's our leader, because he can show up in the most important moment, and that's what he did on Saturday. And it was really unbelievable to watch him after losing pretty sad second set, how he came back on the third set and how he was playing, and he totally dominated, and he won 6-0 the third set. Yeah, that's why he's a legend of this program.
He is a legend for sure. There's no question about that. Gleb Sekachov is our guest. Gleb is from Odessa, Ukraine. Obviously, Gleb, a lot going on in your home country. How long have you been since you have been home? How is your family with everything that's happening there with the war? How has that affected you in your time here as a student at the University of Arizona?
Yeah, so last time I've been home, I think it was like almost 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I left the country when the war started, and it was like kind of tough. I was traveling all around the Europe, trying to find a place where I can practice and where I can feel like home. My family, the whole time, they were staying back to Ukraine in my hometown, because it's like really expensive to live somewhere in Europe, and I have a big family. I have 2 siblings. So yeah, I started living alone when I was 15, when the war started. I was just traveling, trying to play tennis. And then I decided to go to college, to UFA, to keep my professional career here and play tennis and study. And I'm really happy with my decision being here, my second year.
Yeah, Clancy, we talked to Clancy a few weeks ago, and he said that he feels like you've really found a home here at the U of A.
Yeah, that's true. From the fall, from the last semester, I started really feeling that Tucson is my home. I really like this place. I really like the team, the coaches, and the people around. Yeah, I could actually say that this is my second home right now.
And how's everybody at home? Everybody at home is safe?
Nobody is really safe in Ukraine, because, the drones, the bombs every night, you never know where they're going to land. So, yeah, it's being tough, but, me and my family, we kind of used to it. It's been already like 4 years. So, yeah, we have what we have.
There you go. Well, obviously, I'm sure you keep in touch with them. And I know they've got to be extremely proud of you and everything that you're doing here in the United States and in this opportunity. Are they able to watch like online, watch it on the streams and all of that?
Oh yeah. They're watching all our matches. They're not sleeping at the night because of the time difference. They're watching us. They're supporting us, and I really appreciate it from my family that they're enjoying my time here in college, and they're really, really proud of me and proud of the team.
There you go. Well, hey, Gleb, it's been a pleasure watching you play. Best of luck Thursday. You got the number 1 team in the country. I know you guys are excited about that. What do you know about Wake Forest?
I don't really know a lot, but, we are here. It's Elite 8, first time in the program history. We can do something special again.
There you go.
So we're just focusing on our tennis, on our practices, preparation before the Wake Forest, and I think we have a great team, and we can do something special again.
Keep making history. Gleb, hey, I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you guys again on the other side. Hopefully we're having a celebration here when you guys get back.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
There we go. Gleb Sekachov. He is a sophomore tennis player, plays a lot of number 5, number 6 for your Arizona Wildcats. DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We're going to talk some horse racing in the 5 o'clock hour. A couple of ladies from the U of A Racetrack Industry Program are going to join us. We will get with them on their thoughts about Sherry DeVoe winning at the Kentucky Derby, first female trainer to ever do that, and where we are with this schedule that is the Triple Crown, and if that needs to change. moving forward. DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball is here. He's got everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona as well as sports around the world.
Well, again, the roster building continues for the Arizona men's basketball team. They get another transfer for their bigs to commit, and the Wildcats will be bringing in former Nebraska big man, forgive me if this is going to sound like I'm brutalizing this, Ugnis Ursevichnis. Ugnis Ursevichnis.
Okay, there you go.
Yep. Now, as he commits to Tommy Lloyd's squad for the 2026-27 season, again, he suffered injuries throughout most of his career, which includes a stop in Central Michigan, but the 6'11" senior is expected to play a key role in the front court for this year's team. He has a history of strong shooting where he ranked 5th in the MAC in scoring average in the 2024-2025 season for the Chippewas there. He becomes the 3rd Lithuanian big to play for Tommy Lloyd following Azulis Tabelis and now teammate Motejos Krivas. And it was a weekend of highs and lows for the Mercury as they managed to spoil the Aces' big night when they celebrated their championship, but left with a loss as Phoenix took the season opener, but quickly saw the joy scratched after the Golden State Valkyries came away with the win in their first ever home game in the expansion franchise's history. And again, with both those games on the road, however, Coach Nate Tibbetts says that he is just thrilled at the idea of finally getting home for their next contest.
Excited to be going home, right? Back-to-back opening nights at the arena. Those at home arenas. Those are tough. I know the X Factors back in Phoenix getting ready for this game, and they're going to be super excited. And after getting last night, you want to be greedy and come in here and get today. But coming into the season, when you look at the schedule, if you can go 1-on-1 on the road opening weekend, just with all the change that we've had in camp, you're probably walking out of here, feeling pretty good. We're healthy, and we got an opportunity to keep getting better.
So that's the question. Happy with the split?
Yes.
And again, they're happy with the split, but that next contest will be against the Lynx with the tip-off set for 7 p.m. at the Mortgage Matchup Center. And the NBA draft lottery finished up, and the trade rumors are beginning to swirl already as they are now starting to bluster out in Milwaukee, with sources saying the Bucks are willing to seek trade offers for two-time former MVP and Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. The asking price expected to remain what it was at the trade deadline this past season, from the Bucks ownership group saying they want a, quote, a young blue chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks in return. These talks were engaged back in February, but now co-owner Jimmy Haslam has a resolution coming for this before the draft in regards to their franchise's top player. And I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Nobody covers your
From the Cruz and
cats like we
Associates
do.
Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Earlier crash with a collision Camino Seco near Broadway on Camino Seco to the north of Broadway. Also big improvements along 5th Street between Country Club and Wilmot, reduced speed limit and construction restrictions. Lately, crews have been focusing on 5th Street between Country Club and Alvernon. Total completion of the project in mid-2027. 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow, and 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Memorial Day savings are on at Lowe's. Save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances. Valid through 5/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Wendy's new Biggie Deals lets you choose whatever you're in the mood for. It's like a music mixing board of deals, and you're the producer. Go with some chill folk music with a JBC in the $4 Biggie Bite snack. Try the drum and bass of deals with a double stack in the $6 Biggie Bag. Or go full-on sandwich symphony with an $8 Biggie Bundle, the grand finale of snacking. And the best part? They all come with napkins. 4, 6, and $8 Biggie Deals how you want them at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long, and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Nobody covers your cats like we do.
Touchdown, Arizona.
With press conferences, coaches shows, and play-by-play, we bring you all the stories, highlights, and analysis of your Arizona Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
So hot. Hi, can I help you?
Good afternoon. We're with Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team.
But I didn't call yet.
That's how fast we are, man.
Just as I thought, this AC is out.
No, we're not gonna lose it. Come on. Don't you die on me.
Johnson, get a hold of yourself. Sorry, we take this very seriously.
Wow, you fellas are good.
It's not just a name, ma'am.
It's who we are kind of thing.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Softball and baseball season has arrived in Tucson, and tickets are on sale now. From the greatest setting in softball at Hillenbrand Stadium to the dingers into the Tucson sunset at High Corbett, you won't want to miss any of the action this season. Tell a friend, bring the kids, and spend your evenings at the yard, as the Wildcats are sure to put on a show. Get your tickets now by calling 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/tickets. Bear down.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
Jeff Hale and your Arizona Wildcats travel to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. First pitch this Thursday is set for 4 p.m. on your home for Arizona Wildcats Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Are you planning a home renovation? Getting quotes on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, or flooring? Before you commit, visit the Window Depot and make sure you're not overpaying. The Window Depot is your one-stop shop for top quality products at the lowest prices. We're locally owned and operated with no installers and no middlemen, so you save big. Perfect for DIYers, contractors, and homeowners. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Nobody covers your cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
6-speed into non-perimeter, 1-2 on the far turn. Mike Smith is so happier there to their outside. 2.5 back, and then down toward the inside comes Emerging Market as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Further ado is getting going on the far outside with Commandment. They're both putting in their runs as they arrive into the final furlong. O'Sally is also gaining ground on the far outside as they come to the last 16th of a mile. Janon Bourbon in front. O'Sally a huge long shot. Renegade and Golden Tempo are closing too. Here's Golden Tempo. Golden Tempo and Cherie DeVaux make history in the Kentucky Derby over Renegade in a final time of 2:02.27 seconds.
The first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. 44-year-old Cherie DeVaux conditioning Golden Tempo with a tremendous run down the stretch to win the Derby.
At the Kentucky Derby, Cherie DeVaux becoming the first female trainer to win at the Kentucky Derby, second ever to win in a Triple Crown race. Obviously, we have a huge racetrack community here in Southern Arizona, a program over at the University of Arizona that has produced some of the legendary trainers right now in horse racing. Bob Baffert, Todd Pletcher among those. And let's chat with some of the ladies who are involved over at the U of A Racetrack Industry Program. Pleased to be joined today by Elizabeth Rogers. She is a professor of practice over at UA RTIP. And we've got Toshua Spiess, who is a student junior in the program from right here in Tucson. Ladies, appreciate you joining us in studio today. First of all, I'll start, Elizabeth, with you. Explain what you do as professor of practice over at the Racetrack Industry Program.
Yeah, so my job is to take people that have an interest in horse racing and help them learn about the industry and learn about all the opportunities there are to work in the industry. A lot of people think, oh, it's if you can't be a trainer, if you can't be a jockey, there's no opportunities to work in that industry. But in reality, there are so many different things that you can do in the industry. So my job is to teach the students about the industry, help them network, gain experience, learn about all the different opportunities.
You are a graduate, obviously, of the Racetrack Industry Program. You have worked outside of it or involved in it before coming back to the University of Arizona. What made you want to come back and give back?
I always loved the training side of things. So initially when I left the program after graduating, I worked in the racing office, and pretty early on I was pegged as, hey, you're going to train all the new people coming in. And I absolutely loved it. I loved getting new people in that didn't know a lot about the sport and introducing it to them and helping them learn more and grow and figure out what they liked, what their strengths were, where they could improve. And so after several years in the industry, kind of working my way up into racing secretary, eventually a director of racing, I decided, you know what, it's time to step back and go to the students, because that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed teaching and training.
Toshua, you grew up here in Southern Arizona, a Vail High grad. Did you have an interest in horses growing up, and what made you want to be a part of this program at the U of A?
I actually did. During most of my, probably about 6 years old, I started riding horses, Arabian horses though, and showed throughout the Southern Arizona, showing Arabians through showmanship and halter. And so I just always loved horses. And when I was a child, my grandfather actually took me to the Rito racetrack as a kid, and it was just a thing we did. He loved betting. He loved horses. So I kind of got the bug a little bit with understanding a little bit of how horse racing goes through that as a kid. But then I got into the showing aspect, and then a few years ago decided to, on the fly, purchase a off-track thoroughbred from Turf Paradise, which got me more invested not only into the breed, but actually wanting to do aftercare with the horses. And that led me to a quick Google search about potentially veterinarian school, but led me to the Racetrack Industry Program.
So did you know about it as a youngster growing up here in Southern Arizona?
I actually didn't. I honestly did not know about that at all. I wanted to be a veterinarian growing up, so that was kind of my main focus. And then the U of A got the vet program, so that was kind of my path into it. And then as I'm looking through the animal science catalog, I see the Racetrack Industry Program, and I just happened to have purchased Scheffler, and so I just got really curious and went ahead and enrolled in that.
So your horse's name is Chesler?
Scheffler.
Scheffler.
Scheffler, like
Scheffler.
the golfer.
Scotty Scheffler. There we
yes,
go.
like the golfer.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like that. So did you name the horse, or was that the horse's name?
He was
when
pre-named before I got him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was pre-named before I got him. He was about 2 years old when I got him. So.
All right. Toshua Spiess is our guest. She is a junior at the Racetrack Industry Program here at the University of Arizona. Elizabeth Rogers also is a professor of practice over there. Okay, so last week, obviously leading into Kentucky Derby, we all know about the legends. You know, we all know about Bob Baffert. We all know about Todd Pletcher, who came through this program as well. I think they've got 7 or 9 Derby wins between the two of them. I had never heard of Cherie DeVoe until literally last Friday. I was doing some last research on the race and saw that there was a female trainer that had a chance to become the first ever winner. So it was about 24 hours before the race. How much was she known within this community prior to last week?
I I'd say she was known decently well in the Mid-Atlantic region. So one of my first jobs out of college was working at Charlestown Racetrack in West Virginia. And I remember working on the stake races there, and we would go through and figure out, okay, which horses would be good for this stakes race, who should we call? And I do remember having a couple phone calls with Sherry, talking to her about some of her horses and asking her, hey, would you be interested in our stakes race? I don't remember if I ever convinced her to run a horse, but I do know after I left, they did convince her to eventually send a horse, and that horse actually won one of the graded stakes races at Charlestown.
Now, how about you? Did you know Tashua about Sherry?
Yes, actually I did. I'm a committee member for the Horse Racing Women's Association.
Okay.
So I've worked with a lot of amazing women within the horse racing world, like from owners to former jockeys to current jockeys to trainers and everything. So I've been really lucky to have that opportunity, thanks to RTIP, to connect with other women within the industry.
We're chatting with Elizabeth Rogers, professor over at Racetrack Industry Program. Tashua Spiess is a student. Okay, so where did y'all watch the race last Saturday? I'm sure you watched it live. I didn't get a chance to watch it live because I was at the U of A men's tennis meet, which was happening right at the same time. But where did you watch it live, and what was your reaction as you were watching it? I'll start with you, Tashua.
I was actually at work, so I had it streaming on my TV through, I think, Peacock or something like that, and I had just finished a client right when they were doing the walk, and I finished her as quick as I could and got her out the door because I needed to watch this. And I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, this was probably in my opinion, one of the best Kentucky Derbies that I've personally watched. We knew Renegade was a Pletcher horse, and he was going to be good coming out of that first position.
Yeah.
That was going to be tough, but I know the type of trainer Pletcher is, the type of horse that was, and so I knew he was going to finish at least in the top second or third. The rest of it was just crazy, from Great White flipping and having to be scratched last minute. I was rooting for the Puma being scratched. I think this might be a history for like the number of scratches that was in a Kentucky Derby, because it was crazy. But yes, I was watching it there, and thankfully I had a nice little gap that I kind of made myself happen. And yeah, it was such a great race.
How about you, Elizabeth? Where were you watching?
Embarrassingly, I did not watch it live. I actually had family in town, and we were at the planetarium. But I was on a text message chain. Tashua was in there. Some of the other professors were in there, and they were talking about it. And I found like a little cubby hole in the museum and pulled out my phone and found like a replay of the race. So I watched a replay in the planetarium like as soon as I could. But what was nice then is I could sit there and I could replay it constantly and replay the gate break, because it was crazy at the great gate break.
Right.
Renegade got like taken out. I was amazed he closed and finished second as well as he did. And Golden Tempo almost got into some trouble early too, but Jose was smart and kind of pulled Golden Tempo back out of it and said, you guys go ahead and create your own little disaster up there. I'm going to stay clean.
And it was interesting because I think for a lot of us that maybe are fringe horse racing watchers who maybe only pay attention during this 5 or 6 week period for the Triple Crown part of the schedule, when you saw the video of Cherie that was posted online of her watching the race, I found it was interesting because I think the average fans would be cheering for the horse, but she was yelling for the jockey. I thought that was so interesting, an interesting part of how she was saying, come on, Jose, come on, Jose, come on, Jose. Whereas if I'm a fan, I'm saying, come on, Golden Temple, come on, Golden Temple. Explain how important the jockey is to what's happening out there.
So the jockey's important, but I'm going to say half the jockey's job, more than half the jockey's job, is sometimes just staying out of the horse's way. It's helping the horse get into a clear path. So like Jose recognized, hey, it's a little tough there. I'm going to kind of stay out of it and just help my horse get in the best position. And then I'm going to watch for that opening. And when I find it, I'm going to say, okay, buddy, like it's time to go. Let's go now. And so half the job of the jockey is just staying out of the horse's way. Because if you get too much in the way and you try to over direct them, the horse might just say, you know what, forget you. I'm not doing that.
I mean, it was like, and the way he brought that horse from the back, I love the overhead view because you can kind of see how it all works and how he began to find places to maneuver. And then there was that one part where I think he had a chance to maybe go inside the two horses, but he decided to go outside around and bring the horse in from that direction. I mean, Tasha, it's absolutely fascinating how a jockey can maneuver a horse like that to bring it all the way from the back. I don't know that I've ever seen a situation like that where a horse came that far from the back to win a race like that.
Yeah, jockeys are just as important as the equine athlete for sure. You know, like Elizabeth said, it's like staying out of their way, knowing your horse. You know, your trainer's important to let your jockey know all of the things, the little quirks and stuff that they happen to have. You know, like maybe they don't like to be in the mix with the rest of the horses. They might want to stay. They might like to run on the outside, knowing when to hold them back and let them go. You know, a lot of people just like to charge forward, and then your horse gets tired out, and then here comes these guys in the back, just pacing their time and waiting and just going. But yeah, the jockey is just as important as the equine athlete too, for sure.
We're chatting with Tasha Spiess. She's a student in the racetrack industry program here at the University of Arizona, and Elizabeth Rogers is a professor of practice. Okay, so what is this? As a woman in this industry, what does this mean for women in the industry?
I think it's a huge accomplishment. There's a lot of us in the industry, a lot of amazing women in this industry. And to see somebody like Sherry kind of work her way up from the bottom, she started as a hot walker, just walking horses after they trained, helping them cool out, and to move up and show just that hard work and perseverance that, hey, we can do this. We're right here alongside anybody else, and we're here to compete. Like, we're not going to hold back, and come get us.
She trained as an assistant trainer. Simon in New York, who was, I think, grew up in Saratoga. He came out here to go to school at the University of Arizona. Chuck unfortunately passed away a few years ago from cancer. You knew Chuck Simon.
Yeah, I'd had a few interactions with him early on in my career, and he was always so supportive. I remember one of my first recruiting trips for stake races, I went to Gulfstream Park, and I had a friend that said, hey, go find Chuck. It doesn't matter if he's got a horse for your stake. Go find him. Go talk to him. Get to know him. And so I did. And he was absolutely incredible. He invited me into his office. We talked for almost an hour before Chuck was like, you need to go start working on finding stake horses. Stop talking to me. And he was such an awesome supporter because even from afar, when I moved into the racing secretary position, which there are very few women racing secretaries out there, I can think of 3 off the top of my head currently in the industry, and there's several racetracks, far more than that out there. And he was so supportive. I remember him sending me a message about it and us talking about the racing secretary position. At one point, he even invited me to jump on his podcast. He had a podcast called Going in Circles. You can still find it out there. Very interesting. And he was so incredibly supportive every time news came up. Oh, Elizabeth is moving up into a director of racing position. He was right there sending me a message. So incredibly supportive. And it was a huge loss for the industry because he was such a mentor and supported so many people.
We're talking to Elizabeth Spiess, and we've got Tasha Spiess here with us. It is the Racetrack Industry Program. We've got the Preakness coming up this week. We're going to continue our conversation with these two ladies coming up. But right now, we got to get to cricket. She's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. Some slowdowns both directions on Alvernon at Grant Road, usual slowing there due to road work. Some busy travel on Swan at Grant Road. For golf links near Camino Seco, that has been some bridge maintenance work for traffic on golf links at the Pantano Wash near Camino Seco. Currently eastbound slowing on golf links at Camino Seco. And I'm Cricket, and your weather, 72 the overnight low, 101 sunny tomorrow, 103 now. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
The jungle has moved to afternoon, so grab your best Tucson tuxedo and join us on the Jim Rome Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on the flagship home of your Arizona Wildcats, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Prepare yourself. Something extraordinary is about to break loose right in the center of town. Get ready for Casino del Sol. Bigger, brighter, bolder. We are where excitement doesn't just rise, it erupts. We are where fun doesn't just elevate, it takes flight. We aren't just a casino. We are the beginning of a new era. We are Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 40 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a Neighborly company.
Progressive presents Perfectly Bad Excuses for Missing Stuff to Spend More Time on Your Motorcycle.
Hey, Tom. Gonna miss the 5K. Gotta organize my vitamins. A, B, C. There's so many. D.
Now that was a bad excuse. If you love your vehicle this much, get customized coverage from Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits that help you life better. Because being human is a full-time job.
We bring you all the news and stories of your Arizona Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Wildcats Radio 1290 for the latest highlights and commentary. Your home for U of A athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The WNBA's opening weekend gave fans the showdown everybody wanted. Paige Becker shot 8 of 10, finishing with 20 points and 4 assists as the Dallas Wings edged Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever 107-104 Saturday in Indianapolis. It was Clark's first regular season game in nearly 10 months. She scored 20 points with 7 assists, but headed to the bench twice for back treatment before later downplaying any concern. Kelsey Mitchell scored 30 for Indiana, but the Fever came up short. Clark and Mitchell both missing long threes in the closing seconds. Despite the loss, Clark says it's all part of the process.
It was a great test. It was a great game. Our locker room was positive afterwards, so we're not going to hang our heads. We're going to move forward. A lot to be proud of and a lot to learn from, too. So it's only one of 44. We got a long ways to go.
The WNBA's 30th season is officially underway. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with a Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Chatting horse racing here with a couple of ladies from the Racetrack Industry Program. Elizabeth Rogers, the professor of practice, joining us, along with Tashua Spiess, a student. Preakness Stakes coming up this Saturday. Golden Temple will not run in that race. Tashua, you were saying that you want to get in more on the care side for horses. Does training, is that something that is not of interest to you?
No. I want to, definitely my first thought coming into the program was I want to do aftercare, since I got my horse off the track. You know, they're young. They're such a versatile breed, so they can do almost anything from, you know, jumping to just being a trail horse. So I definitely want to focus a lot of my time on helping to take these horses off the track, get them, retrain them, and then, you know, send them on their way. And for those that can't do anything, just be a pasture pet. But I'm also, after going through the program, I've learned a lot about like the safety and integration within the sport. And I'm really looking at being potentially a steward, which is our referee of the sports. But I mean, RTEP gives you so many opportunities. I think my first year and probably the beginning of this year, I kept my professor, Robert Hartman, I would change my mind almost every day. We'd have a speaker that comes in and I'm like, oh, now I want to do this. Oh, now I want to do this. Oh, now I want to do this. But I've kind of settled on aftercare is definitely the end goal. I really love the safety and the rules and kind of the legal side of racing. So the steward aspect is where I want to go. But also being a student worker for the program, I've learned a lot about social media and writing. So I think it's something I want to do on the side to allow me to be creative still, is do social media. And I've been doing a lot of writing for America's Best Racing. I had another one published for Blood Horse Magazine. So, and then I do a lot of the write-ups for our speakers that come in or any field trip we take, and it's all over the RTIP social media. So it allows me to, you know, it found me another hobby that I didn't think I would enjoy. So
it's interesting you talk about the aftercare, and obviously that's after the horses stop racing, stop competing. But it came out this week that Golden Temple is not going to run in the Preakness, and that sparked a lot of conversation about where we are in terms of the Triple Crown, the fact that this these 3 races are run in a 5-week period. Is that good for the equine athletes to be running that many races of that magnitude in such a short period of time? Third time, I believe, now in 5 years that the winner of the Kentucky Derby is not going to run in the Preakness. Elizabeth, where do you stand on that? I mean, there's been a lot of debate about expanding the schedule, and I guess I'm old school. It's like, look, we went 40 plus years without a Triple Crown winner because it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's hard for horses to do that. You don't want to. I mean, I don't know that we want to take away the specter of that by lengthening the schedule to make it easier. So we have, let's have a Triple Crown winner every 2 or 3 years. It's like I'm against the idea of shortening the schedule, but people in the industry, where do you come out on?
So we have this conversation, I feel like, every year in the industry, and I've been all over the board, back and forth. I think at the end of the day, for me, I applaud Sherry. I applaud Mr. Mott last year. Both of them made the decisions based on their horse. They said, hey, I want to do what's in the best interest of my horse, and I'm going to listen to my horse and set them up for success. And I applaud them for it. And then I think that's where it comes to question of, are we asking too much to come back in 2 weeks? Should it be 3 weeks? But then you have the traditional perspective of the Triple Crown is supposed to be hard. Mm-hmm. It takes that special horse that has the mix of talent, of toughness, and of grit to pull it off. And so in some ways, I want to say leave it as is. But I do question if it's the best thing for the sport to keep it at the 2 weeks. I think if you'd stretch out to 3 weeks, I wouldn't be too mad. If they decide to stay at 2 weeks, I'd be fine with it. It's supposed to be an accomplishment. But as long as our trainers keep putting their horses first, I think that's all that matters.
As somebody on the care side, Tosh, where do you come in on that?
I definitely agree with that. I think it's important for the trainer to know the capabilities of their horse. Like coming back in 2 weeks, is that something that's going to be safe for them? It like Elizabeth said, the Triple Crown is supposed to be hard, and it's a huge accomplishment. But I really applaud them again, like Elizabeth does as well. Like that they're taking their horse first, and that's really important because, just because a Triple Crown is awesome, but just I don't know, you just won the Kentucky Derby. That's pretty awesome too.
Right, exactly. And I talked about this on my show earlier in this week, and I don't know. Again, this is the first time we've ever seen a female trainer, I think, in the limelight like we have with Sherry. And the public love she shows for her horses. I mean, I think every video or camera shot I've seen of her since the race is her, hugging that horse, kissing that horse. That's not something we're used to seeing because a lot of the trainers are usually men. I don't know that a lot of men are showing that type of affection to the horse. I mean, I thought that was a very interesting piece to see that intimate look in a female trainer and how she really cares for the animal that she's working with.
We love our horses at the end of the day, and I don't want to put words in Tosh's mouth, but I feel like we're in it for the horse at the end of the day, and we love the horse. That's why we're here. That's what enables us to compete in this sport is the horse, and you can't argue against a woman's touch either.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. Jim, we have Jim Rome on our channel, and he talked about that. He owned some horses, and he said that he got so emotionally involved with the horses that there were men in the industry that told him, "This is not for you. You can't get emotionally attached to these equine athletes." So I guess it's a very interesting, like you mentioned, Tosh, a slope to play with. How you view this horse as something to be cared for, or are you viewing this horse as a money maker for your organization? And I think that's how do people in the business balance that? I think is a question too as well.
I mean, I'm an animal lover, so the horses come first. Money comes and goes. So, I mean, if you think about it, this animal, not only are they like, they're an athlete, but they're cared for, and they're such compassionate. They're, we use horses for all types of things besides racing, like equine therapy. They're so intuitive to your feelings. When I go to the barn to hang out with my horse, like, he knows if I'm having a bad day, and he'll come up to me and cuddle on me, or, pull on my shirt, or, we just had a horse foal a new baby, and every day I would see her and come up with her and give her treats and love on her. And then I just got to see the baby yesterday, and he's so sweet and kind. Like, you have to fall in love with it. And I have seen a male, I'm sure you know of, like Griffin Johnson with his horse Sandman for the last Derby. Like, he shows so much affection to his horse Sandman and to the other horses that he is partnered with too as well. So I think, I mean, you even saw her groom for Golden Tempo. Like, the groom was crying too. But yeah, you get attached to the horses. I think probably some other trainers, maybe they have more of a business mindset, but then you also have, you know, Bob Baffert and Todd Pletcher, who have a lot of horses, you know, versus some trainers maybe only have one or two. So I think you get to know the personality of that horse a little bit more since you're with them all the time versus you're jumping between, you know, multiple horses.
All right, so obviously we always, when we talk about the horse racing and the program here, we mention Baffert, we mention Pletcher, and I always, every time I talk to somebody from the program, I was like, who's next? I mean, obviously Chuck Simon was a lower level trainer. Maybe never got to that level that Pletcher and Baffert is at. Is there anybody now that's come out of the program in the last 10 years that might eventually get to that level, Elizabeth?
I'm gonna throw a little shout out to recent grad Haley Schiffer. I didn't get a teacher. She graduated before I came to Haley Schiffer.
Haley Schiffer,
yep.
Okay.
And I didn't get a teacher. She graduated before I got there, but I've had the opportunity to interact with her multiple times. And she loves her horses. She's horse first. She's working right now. I believe she's at a barn in Keeneland and working long hours, long days. Every day she's putting in the grind, and I'm really hopeful and looking forward to see where she goes in the future.
Now, you're from Washington State. Did you come down here specifically for the program, or did you navigate to it after you got here as a student?
I came specifically for the program. I was actually originally at Washington State University doing pre-vet, and I went to my advisor, and we were talking. I told him I was interested in horse racing. And he looked at me. He was an alum of the University of Arizona, not the racetrack program, but he was an alum, and he knew about the program. And he said, Elizabeth, he said, go look this program up, go apply, and I don't want to see you back here. You don't belong here. Go to the racetrack program. And I did, and the rest is kind of history from there.
You guys have a great symposium that you put on every single year. New director the last 4 years, Robert Hartman, is running it. I got to know Dr. Davis a little bit when she was there back in the day as well. Give us an update on where the program is now and some of the things that you guys are doing to push it forward.
Yeah, so, well, we have our Global Symposium on Racing, and I think that's one of the biggest benefits to our students. It brings in over 600 professionals in our industry to Tucson. They get to network, they get to interact. The students get to help us coordinate and organize the symposium. Every person that comes in to pick up their badge, there's a student there waiting to greet them. We do a mentor lunch, so each student gets to pick somebody that's coming for the symposium and sit down and have a one-on-one lunch with them, which is a great networking opportunity and one that existed when I was a student. And so I can, at least from my perspective, I can say it's invaluable.
It's awesome. I mean, it is a really, really great symposium. Tasha, I want to ask you about it, but we got to get another break in here real quick. DK on the sports tip. We'll come back. We'll chat with Tasha and Elizabeth from the University of Arizona Racetrack Industry Program. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
Summit Racing has the parts, tools, and accessories to keep your ride summer road trip ready. You'll find everything for pre-trip maintenance and essentials like emergency roadside kits. Shop summitracing.com and enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. With roadwork on Park Avenue, 36th Street to 22nd Street impacting travel, the northbound side, northbound lanes of Park Avenue closed between 36th Street to 22nd Street. You could use 4th Avenue instead. And for your weather, 72, the low 101, tomorrow 102. Now, I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Sonny, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio, 1290.
First of all, I want to congratulate you on your show. I'm really glad and appreciate the show that you guys put together, bringing what I think is sort of quality local radio.
This is a great radio station. You guys go high school and everything, and this is a great radio station, sports-wise.
Well, we appreciate you saying that, Victor. Thank you so much. DK on the Sports Tip, Monday through Fridays at 3, right here on Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Jim Rome takes on sports.
Listen, it is not too late to stop this. Do not do this. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's damn near perfect. It's beautiful as it is. Stop trying to fix what ain't broke. And stop telling me that the tournament isn't the tournament unless the 15th place team in the SEC gets in. Stop jerking with the best event in all of sports, you pigs.
The Jim Rome Show podcast.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing,
a Neighborly company.
From work to errands to family life, your car takes a beating. At Recon Auto Detailing, we don't just protect it, we maintain it.
They installed my ceramic coating in shop, and now their mobile team keeps it looking brand new, right in my driveway.
Ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, all installed professionally at Recon Auto Detailing. And with our mobile detailing, we keep that fresh, protected look mile after mile. One-stop shop, zero hassle, that's Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Life happens. Lucky for you, the new ICCU Central Plus checking account comes with benefits, including cell phone protection.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
That's right. Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
Ken Goodrich here. You know what we call a home with clean air, pure water, and reliable plumbing? Gettleized. With Gettle's meticulous 7-step process, we whip your home systems into shape. Say goodbye to water spots, dusty air, and flimsy parts. Say hello to smooth showers, fresh air, and real peace of mind. From air filters to tankless water heaters and every pipe in between, we do it the right way, not the easy way. Gettle, G-U-E-T-T-L. We'll get you Gettleized, but it's hard to spell.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philadelphia became Madison Square Garden West yesterday after the first quarter as the Knicks outscored the 76ers 43-24 on their way to a Game 4 win and a sweep of Philly. The Knicks returned to the Eastern Conference Finals where they lost last year to the Indiana Pacers. They face the winner of the Pistons and Cavs who play in Game 4 tonight in Cleveland. Detroit leads that series 2-1. I'm Adam Abdallah.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, final few minutes of our show here, wrapping up our conversation with Tashua Spiess and Elizabeth Rogers from the Arizona Racetrack Industry Program over at the U of A. We're talking about the Global Symposium, ladies, and Tashua, I wanted to get the students' perspective from that and what that program has meant for you as a student.
It's an amazing opportunity. I've been lucky last year and this year to actually work with everybody to help put on the symposium, but to be able to walk into that room and be surrounded by so many people within industry, and then just, be able to network and talk with them. And I've gotten tons of opportunities just based off that. Stephanie Hironis was part of our mentor program, and she not only has one of the best horses in the world with Flightline, but she also is part of the Horse Racing Women's Association. So that's how I got involved in that. And she offered me, come to our conference in Del Mar, come here, come there. So I also, last year, we did a panel on Race for the Crown, where we had Jason Worth there. So now I got an opportunity to help them with Icon Racing and doing their social media. So there's just every time I turn around, there's somebody in either an alumni or somebody in industry who's ready to help out a student. And, here's my card if you ever need anything, if you want to do an internship, here's this, here's that. So it's just, it's awesome. Where can you be surrounded by for 4 days around this many people in one place?
All right, one of my wife's friends lives in Louisville, and I keep saying her, we got to go to the Derby one day. Have either of you ever been to the Derby?
No.
I said I'll go when I have a horse.
I did say this year that I am going to go next year for sure. I don't know how I'm going to get myself there, but I don't know. I'll be a hot walker if I have to.
Now, what's a hot walker? We got to get the lingo. Not everybody knows the lingo.
A hot walker, you're pretty much just in charge of walking that horse.
Walking the horse. Just like around the grounds before it trains, whatever.
Pretty much, yeah. You just keep an eye on this horse and you walk him, and then there's actually like an actual machine called a hot walker that you can hook them up to. But then, after they come off training, you have to walk them a little bit to cool them down and bathe them. A groom, kind of the same thing. Mucking stalls, feeding horses, getting them tacked and ready. Like if I have to do that, I will do that to get myself to the Derby.
What's the favorite race or track you've ever been to, Elizabeth?
I'd say probably my favorite, and one of the horses that was very influential when I was a student was Zenyatta. And I remember being at her Breeders' Cup Classic win at Santa Anita. Oh, wow. And it was special. You had this incredible filly that was taking on the boys and took down one of the biggest race of the year here in the U.S. for older horses, and she did it against the boys and came out on top. She was the Queen Zenyatta.
There you go. All right, so now you guys mentioned the big global symposium. How soon, how quickly do you think you can get Mrs. DeVoe down here to be a part of that? Have you started making those calls, Elizabeth?
We were thinking about a female-related panel. Yes. So, no, this is perfect. We were talking about getting involved with Horse Racing Women's Association and trying to get kind of that female-focused panel together. And this was before Derby, and so the fact that Sherry won, it would be amazing if she would want to come out. So this can be our little open invitation to Sherry. Hey, please come join us. We'd love to have you.
There you go. Well, it was an exciting race, and just a great day at Churchill Downs to see that horse come all the way from the back to win and make history. We'll see what happens in about a month down up in New York at the Belmont Stakes. Ladies, appreciate you coming into studio and chatting horse racing with us today and sharing your thoughts on women in this industry and pushing this racetrack industry program forward here at the University of Arizona. It's obviously a great opportunity for young people who are growing up and want to get in to this fabulous industry. Elizabeth, Tashua, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, we had a chance to chat with Eric Lopez earlier from D1 Softball, trying to get an indication of what's going on with the seeding and all of that. And one of the things we talked to him about was who he thinks one of the dark horses in this NCAA softball tournament might be.
So I'm not just saying this because I'm on this show. I think if Arizona, you mentioned this earlier, they know how to win on the road in the postseason. One that you didn't mention is they won in Fayetteville a couple times there. And the reason I bring that up is that is the regional that is paired up with the Durham regional. So let's say Arizona gets past Duke, there's a good chance that they will see Arkansas in a super regional like they did in Mike Kendrea's last year when they went in there and won the super regional to get back to the World Series in Oklahoma City. There was another year, I think Caitlin Lowe won a regional there and eliminated Arkansas. So they have success in Arkansas if they can get past this regional with Duke. And again, Duke doesn't have the depth pitching line. So this could come down to how does Jalen Adams look and Riley Holder pitch in Durham against Duke and Marshall come down there. But I think Arizona actually, David, has a path to get to Oklahoma City as far as teams outside the top 8. Obviously, the other answer is Texas Tech. They've done this already. Last year as a 12 seed when they knocked off Florida State in the super regionals. They'll have a similar path where they host a regional and then perhaps potentially have to go to Gainesville to play Florida. But if you're looking for teams outside the top 8 that can get to Oklahoma City, I think Texas Tech and Arizona. If Arizona, which Arizona team are we getting? And you know, I spoke to Caitlin Lowe about that after they were eliminated by Arizona State, and I think she felt they were close. She liked the way they swung the bat against Kenzie Brennan. Just was not. It was right at people, but I think she was pleased on how Adams pitched. And you know, now they've had some time to recharge the batteries, and I think that's a dangerous team. If you're looking for a team outside the top 16 to make it to Oklahoma City, that's probably the first pick that I would make is Arizona, and it's in Texas Tech. I think those are the two that jumps out to me. Texas Tech outside the top 8, Arizona outside the top 16, I think are two teams that I think can get to Oklahoma City.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, there you go. Eric Lopez likes the potential maybe of Arizona. And again, it's once again, this is an interesting route. It is very well set up for Arizona. Playing a lower seeded team that maybe, again, they're not playing one of the teams from the SEC. They're playing another national seed that's from the ACC, a team that I think they can beat on the road. And then you get to Arkansas, which, again, is not one of the best teams in the SEC, but is there. I think this is a route that shapes up well for Arizona as long as they can pitch. That's what it's going to come down to. Can they pitch enough to win on the road and get it back to Oklahoma City? All right, before we get out of here, I do want to give you, we didn't do well in our Westwood One top plays over the weekend. Friday, we had the Timberwolves plus 5.5. They lost, I think, by 8 in that game in Game 3. We had Deuce McBride of the Knicks to score over 10.5 points because OG Anunoby wasn't going to play. He only scored 3 points. So we lost on that one as well. And we also lost on Vlad Guerrero over 1.5 runs, hits, RBIs. He only had a 1 run. Yeah, so we lost all 3 of our bets. Tonight we got the Cavaliers minus 3.5 over the Pistons at minus 110 right now. The Cavs are up by 1 point with about 8 minutes to go and change in the second quarter. So we'll come back to all of that tomorrow. Thanks to everybody that joined us today on our show. We'd like to thank Eric Lopez from D1 Sports, Elizabeth Rogers and Tashua Spiess from the U of A Racetrack Industry Program, and also Glib Sekachoff from Arizona Men's Tennis. For Dragon Ball, for cricket, for J-Dub off today, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow, same time, 3 o'clock right here. DK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Have a great night, everybody.
Hey, it's Shannon. If you drive around Tucson, you've probably seen crews. Like me, they're part of this community. And when one of us is injured in a car accident, they're here to help. Injured? Call Cruise.com, Cruise & Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
From the Cruise & Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. With road work in a closure, 22nd Street closed, Tucson Boulevard to Cherry Belle Avenue. Use Broadway or Aviation Parkway instead. Also road work at Irvington and Palo Verde, Ajo and Keno and Country Club Road, closed under I-10. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. And you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Like we do.
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good.
I take great comfort knowing that he's our point guard, and and I have great confidence that he's one of the best players in the country.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Life happens. Lucky for you, ICCU has a new kind of checking account that comes with benefits that help you life better. Because being human is a full-time job.
Arizona is where we live and work. Unlike many other law firms, Arizona is our home. They call us the Eagle because with every 5-star review, our reputation soars, and we've got thousands. You also won't see our lawyers on billboards because they're busy representing Arizona clients. We're Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm. Call today at 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Nobody covers your cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slam it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The day shuts down. The games light up. This is BetMGM Tonight.